What's up, everybody? It's Grim, and you're watching Thrash Maniac 99 Wrestling, Gaming, and Metal videos. Hit the real intro.
What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back to yet another episode of 5 Questions with Levi. I can't remember exactly what number this episode is, but it's probably, I would say, 35, episode 35. And yeah, we've got 5 more questions for this week. Now, I wanted to go ahead and give this quick little update in regards to this show. Once we reach episode 52, there will probably be a long hiatus from this show, and that might end up being episode 52 might end up being the last episode of this series for a while, because I do want to try and do other types of videos for Tuesdays as opposed to just the 5 questions stuff. What will that potential new series be? I'm not entirely sure, but I am going to keep going until we get to the 1-year anniversary, which is episode 52. And that's still 17 or some weeks left. So we got 17 more episodes of this potential series. So still got plenty of time to get me some questions if you want to ask me them questions. And be sure to send questions in the comment section below for episode 36 next week. But until then, let's get started. Sonic Johns 924 asks, any final thoughts on Coach Urban Meyer? Well, I mean, Urban Meyer, he was one of the best coaches Ohio State has had in a long, long time. I mean, Jim Trussell was definitely one of the best as well, but Urban Meyer, I mean, he came out of the gate strong in his first season in 2012. We went undefeated despite not getting to play a bowl game, but we came back in about a year or two later, won the national championship in that first year of the playoff style of the BCS or what have you. Despite not getting another national title, we still kept getting winning records, winning Big Ten championships. So Urban Meyer definitely did his job very well for the short amount of time he was there as our coach. Thank God he's sticking around as an athletic director, and we got that new coach who actually coached for the first 3 weeks of the season and did a phenomenal job. So I'm not going to be too worried about Ohio State for 2019 because I think we're going to do just fine and maybe still be a national championship contending team. Hopefully. Fat Fuck Behind a Burning Asshole asks, where do you think Nirvana, indie/alt rock, and any other applicable parties would be today if Kurt Cobain was still alive? Well, I mean, I could definitely see those scenes being bigger if Kurt was still around. However, I feel like I don't think it really would have mattered because, after all, indie rock and alt rock all pretty much was created back in like the late 70s, early 80s when you had people like Morrissey and the Smiths coming up, and then eventually in the mid to late 80s with Jane's Addiction and even Red Hot Chili Peppers kind of coming up through the bubble. Grunge, on the other hand, I mean, Nirvana was there in the beginning of that scene. However, I just feel like indie and alt rock in general, and even grunge, I felt it still would have ended up the way it ended up because of the post-grunge movement coming up and about. It's like with any music scene, once there's a genre in place, there's going to be derivatives of those genres, and whether it's good or whether it's bad, it's bound to happen. So even if Kurt was still alive, I think we'd still be in the same position now. Nirvana, on the other hand, I think would still be a big band, but the genres within that realm would probably still be in the same direction as it is today. Mr. Death Metal asks, top 5 most anticipated albums of 2019. Well, my number 1 is Carcass, considering they're in the studio now, finally working on the long-awaited follow-up to the classic Surgical Steel. Other anticipated albums I'm looking forward to, possibly new Avenged Sevenfold, I'm curious to hear. Hopefully new Witherscape, new Borknagar, new Megadeth, I hear is supposed to be on the pike, same with Opeth. Trivium, I'm hoping to see an album from this year, considering Sin in the Sentence was a great return to form. But as far as like my 5 most anticipated, it would be Carcass, Avenged Sevenfold, Witherscape, Borknagar, and maybe Asphyx or Power Trip, depending on. But there's going to be so many great albums coming out this year, and there's already a bunch confirmed, like Dream Theater and Overkill coming out in the next month or so. So there you go. BlazeLife334 asks, other than gaming, YouTube, and music, what are your other interests? Zev Bellringer porn. Enough said, mister. Daniel Rafael De Jesus asks, what are your thoughts about cartoon shows like The Simpsons and South Park? Well, The Simpsons, I was never really a gigantic fan of The Simpsons. I don't know why, I just never cared for that show. South Park, on the other hand, I've always enjoyed, at least up until the last few seasons where I just stopped paying attention. Like the early South Park stuff, and then some of the South Park stuff in like the late 2000s, early 2010s was decent. But I'm definitely more of a South Park fan than a Simpsons fan, so that's basically all I got to say about that, and that will pretty much wrap up this episode of 5 Questions with Levi. Thank you guys so much for checking this episode out, and again, as I hit my desk, be sure to send questions in the comments section below for next week's episode. But until then, peace out, and I will see you very soon.